The classic AK. One of the most popular and well-known assault rifle in pretty much in history of humanity. Pretty much every single person knows this. It's pretty much the Michael Jackson of the weapon industries. Whether you like it or not, everybody knows this weapon. Regardless. Even for those that don't know much about guns, everybody knows this beauty. It is one of the most revolutionary weapons to ever exist in humanity, both in real life and as well as on games. And for this video, we're going to be talking about the Payday 3's version of the AK, how effective it is, how many shots it takes to kill enemies, and as well as its pros and its negatives. Without wasting any more time, let's get straight into it. The AK is a very versatile assault rifle when it comes to dealing with every single enemy you can practically think of. It is one of those assault rifles where it literally is so good that it practically has almost zero downsides to it whatsoever. It is a very reliable assault rifle that will get the job done in pretty much every single situation you can practically think of, whether that be on whole hordes of enemies or on enemies that are widened out and etc. Let's talk about the damage of the AK and get onto its stats and its weaknesses and upsides. The AK takes approximately 2 hits on the head for both light and heavy units, regardless of if you have edge or not. But on the body shot, it does sort of change a little bit. For the lightweight units, even if you do have edge, it does take approximately 5 shots to kill them on the body. For the heavies, it takes 7 hits without edge, but it takes 6 hits to kill them with edge. Against shields, it takes approximately 6 hits on the head to kill them entirely, and it's also one of those assault rifles that is able to pierce through the shield's visor without having any problems whatsoever. Against the bulldozer, this is also another assault rifle that is able to kill them in a very quick session. It takes approximately 21 rounds to kill a bulldozer in the faceplate, that is if you're able to hit all the shots that is, and that's pretty much it. The damage drop-off for the AK comes in at approximately more than 21 meters. As long as you're in 20 meter radius, then the damage drop-off will not come in whatsoever. Even if you do have the quote-unquote damage distance increase on the modification that the game quote-unquote says, it does not make any changes whatsoever, so do not rely on those weapon stats. But yeah, that's pretty much all I can offer. The AK is a very versatile assault rifle, like I said earlier, in every situation you can practically think of. But let's get over with the stats. The accuracy of the AK is very good. You can practically hit the shots very accurately in long distances. And if you grab these skills I'm going to showcase here, you'll pretty much have an assault rifle that is almost, if not better, than some DMRs. Yes, that is a bit of a sarcastic joke, but shut up. But either way. The AK has a very accurate recoil, or a very controllable recoil that is not really that much particularly hard to control. But there is a bit of a noticeable gun kick to it, or visual recoil, hence the stability. It's not as intense as the SCAR, but it is a bit noticeable here and there. The handling and as well as the rate of fire is not really that bad, nor it is too good. And the ammo pickup rate is solid, and the amount of ammo you have in your magazine and as well as in your reserve is also very good, as it allows you to kill multiple enemies without having to worry about, reloading constantly. And the reload speed for the AK is very solid, regardless if you have the extended mag or the quick pull mag. It is very quick for an assault rifle, which is kind of surprising, but yeah. So, what is the downside of the AK? There isn't any. Well, there's two, but those are pretty much just forgettable, and that is the slightly slower rate of fire, and as well as the slightly intense gun kick. That's it. There really isn't any different type of downside I can practically think of, other than the stability being slightly worse than some of the assault rifles, and that's pretty much it, honestly. And why should you be using the AK instead of the other assault rifles? Well, that's very easy. It's because of its better handling and as well as, the magazine capacity being much more better than the assault rifles, because it allows you to kill multiple enemies and as well as kill bulldozers if there's two, way more easier without having to constantly reload. And it also has a much more faster reloading speed than the other assault rifles, and that's pretty much it. The only weapon I can practically think of that behaves in a similar way to the AK is the FIK-22 TLR, and that's pretty much it. Both of them are capable of two-shotting enemies in the head, and that's pretty much it. Although the FIK is very weak against bulldozers, meanwhile the AK is very effective at it. The only difference between the two is that one is more accurate and way more controllable and very effective at longer distances, meanwhile the other one is more prioritized on mid-range engagements or on close-range engagements. There is no downside to this AK whatsoever, other than the rate of fire being slightly slower compared to the other assault rifles. That's pretty much it. I'm not sugarcoating this when I say this. The AK is such a perfect weapon that it literally has almost zero downsides to it whatsoever. Forget about the fact that I said that it has a bit of a gun kick to it. You can pretty much just forget about that entirely. That is just practically non-existent. Because there are so many modifications in a skill that reduces the recoil and as well as overall gun kick. Oh, and I also forgot to mention that hip firing with this thing is absolutely amazing. Hip firing with this AK, regardless if you have skills for it or not, is still very effective. You can literally land shots very effectively even at longer distances you normally shouldn't be able to hit. And it's one of those rifles where, regardless if you have like terrible stats that make your hipfire spread worse, this thing will perform very well. So the AK is pretty much just effective in every single situation you can practically think of. It is very good. It is one of the top 5 best assault rifles in Payday 3. I think there's only like 5 assault rifles, but when it comes to ranking, I'd say the AK is on the 3rd spot when it comes to being the best. But let's say theoretically, what type of modification should you really be using on the AK? Well, that's pretty much up to your personal interpretation. Do you want your weapon to be more easily controllable or not? Yada yada yada, you get the gist of it. But if the recoil and as well as the stability is something that really messes up your aim, then I highly suggest going with modifications that reduces the overall gun kick or overall recoil, like the TQ stock or the hybrid muzzle brake and etc. If you want to use this assault rifle for long range engagements, use these sights. Do not use the tactical side because the reticle is absolutely horrible. It's just nauseous to look at, and that's personally for me, but you can use it. I'm not saying like it's bad to use it, but for me personally, it looks absolutely hideous. But the thing about the AK is, it can be used in every situation you can practically think of, like I said earlier. And I know I'm sugarcoating this more than I should, but it's a fucking AK for God's sakes. It's supposed to be effective at any situation. No wonder why this thing is still going after years later. Like, this thing is a beast. Like, there is no downside to this besides being old, but who really cares about that either way? You can use this for hip firing, you can give like the best handling and like the worst recoil like increase. Like, you can literally mess this weapon in so many ways and it will still be effective in so many situations. You can turn this into a hipfire king, you can turn this into a long range beast, yada yada. Anything works with this. Literally anything works with this. It's not like the LMG where you have to be cautious of how you select your modifications because of how horrid the handling is, or like the SCAR's like terrible stability and so on and so on. The AK does not suffer with that. It is very effective in pretty much any build you can think of. There is no right or wrong. Even with assassin builds, this assault rifle is a beast. So yeah, that is pretty much all I can offer. I know this may seem a little bit shorter than compared to the FAMAS I did much more a while ago, but that's literally the thing about the AK. It was also the same thing with Payday 2, but it was like much more weaker compared to Payday 3. It's like, the thing about in Payday 2 is like, it was overshadowed very easily. Like, it was one of those assault rifles where it was okay, but it was overshadowed by a lot of assault rifles, so yeah. But this is not really the same thing with Payday 3, because even if it's not able to one-shot enemies, because of how easy it is to control and how better it is to, because it has a better handling and as well as better reload speed, it is pretty much better in some situations compared to the one-shotting weapons. But I don't like using one-shot weapons because they're very boring, so you don't see me use it a lot. I do use it, but not much. But hey, if I had to give it an overall ranking for the AK, it would definitely be a 10 out of 10. Yes, I am proud to say that and say that the AK is a 10 out of 10 because it literally is. Sure, it does not have the capability of one-shotting enemies, but consider the fact that it's a consistent assault rifle that is able to get the job done in every single fucking situation you can think of. I don't think I should really need to say much. But yeah, and for some of you that are quote-unquote don't know much about guns, the AK is not the 47. It's not the AK-47 that some people think. It is actually the AKM, or the modernized version of the AK-47. Much like how the FAMAS is called the FAMAS Valoris, which means upgraded, or in simpler terms, it is basically just a much more modernized version of the FAMAS. This is also the same thing with the AK. It's just pretty much a much more modernized version of the AK-47, so do not let other people say that this is an AK-47 because they're completely wrong. But yeah. What else is there? Oh yeah, the animation is okay, to say the least. The only problem I can really say about the AK is the reload animation is a bit snappy, to say the least. That's the only thing I can pretty much say about the AK is it's a bit too snappy. That's the only thing I can say. The sound effects are very good. I will give them that. The sound effects and the shooting and like the sound when it comes to reloading is very good and very clean. But the animation itself is a bit stiff and very snappy. So I'd have to give it a 6 out of 10 when it comes to animation, but the sound effect is an 8 out of 10. It does not sound too powerful, but it does sound powerful in a sense, so yeah, that's the only thing I can pretty much say. And the inspect animation is absolutely phenomenal. I adore it. So yeah, I don't really have anything else to say besides this Soviet classic of a beauty. Besides, thank you for watching. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to go and trade some illegal weapons, like the AK, to a third foreign country. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you have a good day. Treat each other with respect, take care of each other, and have a very good day or night. Adios. Now get out of here. Shoo.